Dear students, my name is A. Chakravarti. I am working as a mathematics lecturer in Vignan Junior College, Vadlamudi. Today I am explaining one concept related to intermediate first year mathematics. Very easy one. So the name of the concept is matrices. So in this chapter, matrices, how we define the matrices and their addition, multiplication, and some different properties of matrices. Later, by using the concept of matrices, we can able to solve linear equations with two variables and three variables also. So these are the topics we are going to learn in this topic, matrices. Let us first start the concept from the definition of matrices. Now first let me explain what is a matrix. Now the definition of matrix. What is a matrix? How we define them, how we indicate them, and how we are going to write the matrices. So these are the topics we are going to discuss now. Now what is the definition of a matrix? So simply matrix is an ordered rectangular array. An ordered rectangular array. Array means arrangements, array of elements. So this is the definition of, simple definition of matrix. Ordered. So we should follow an order of elements. Array means arrangement, and those elements are arranged in which format? In rectangular format, so that the order obtained is said to be the definition of matrix. Now here, considering elements, we can consider real or complex numbers. Real or complex numbers. For the elements, generally we are considering as the elements, we can consider real numbers or complex numbers. And to denote the matrix, generally we use capital letters. So to denote matrices, we use capital letters, capital A, capital B, capital C, so on like that. And we indicate matrix and the elements in the brackets or which are in these formats. We can arrange the elements in this format or in this format. So the matrix is an ordered arrangement of elements. Those elements may be real or complex numbers, and matrices are denoted with the capital letters of the alphabets A, capital B, capital C, and matrices are indicated in brackets such as a square bracket or open bracket. Now array means, I already told you, array means arrangement. So in arrangement of the elements, we have two concepts. The elements may be arranged in the horizontal manner. So why? Because we are arranging the elements in rectangular order. So the elements may be arranged in horizontal way or in vertical way. So the arrangement of element constitute in two ways. One is horizontal way. Horizontal elements constitute rows. Horizontal elements constitute rows. The elements which are arranged in a horizontal manner, those horizontal elements are constituted to be as a rows. Vertical elements constitute columns. Vertical elements and vertical line of elements constitute, we call them as columns. So simply we are arranging the elements whatever may be elements, real or complex numbers, in horizontal manner or in vertical manner. The horizontal line of elements of constitute rows, we call them as rows, and the elements which are arranged in vertical manner, which are constitute to columns. So this is said to be the matrix. So let me write one example related to the definition of matrix. Observe the example here. So I told you matrices you can indicate the brackets like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the example for a matrix. Now let me explain it. Here you observe, I write the numbers 1, 2, 3 in horizontal manner. So this constitute rows and we call it as R1, row 1. And 4, 5, 6 arranged in the second row, in the second horizontal line. So that is said to be the second row, that is R2. Now, if you do this arrangement in vertical manner, if you observe 1, 4 in this manner, so this is a column, that is C1. So this is column 2, second column. This is column 3. So the way we consider in horizontal manner, they treat to be rows, and the elements which we are considering in columns wise manner, so they are said to be the columns. So matrix constitute with rows and columns. Elements are arranged into rows and columns so that we obtain matrix. Let me write one more example. With letters I am considering this one: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So this is the another example for a matrix. So clearly it contains 3 rows. Clearly it contains 3 columns. So this is how we are going to form a matrix using, you can use elements as numbers, letters, or real or complex numbers to make a matrix. So now what is the order? So in such arrangement, you should follow the condition. How many rows you consider? Each row must contain the equal number of elements. Here let me explain here. In first row, how many elements are there? 3. Second row also 3. Third row also 3. That means in our arrangement, we should follow the condition that each row we are considering, those rows must have the equal number of elements as well as the equal number of elements in columns also. Let me explain one example. We can't say it as a matrix. Observe here: 1, 2, 3, A, B. Can we say that is the example for a matrix? Definitely not. Why? Because if you observe, the first row contains 3 elements, whereas the second row contains only 2 elements. So this is not a matrix. So while arranging the elements into rows or columns, you should follow the condition. All the rows in those arrangements should have equal number of elements, not equal elements. Remember the point. Equal number of elements. That means if first row contains 4 elements, so the second row contains 4 elements, and the third row contains 4 elements. Later, how many rows are there? They should contain 4 elements. In the same manner, columns has to be followed in the same way. Each column should have the equal number of elements for each column. So this is how matrix we obtain and how we arrange the elements in rows and how we arrange the columns. Now later we move to the another concept. So based on the number of rows and number of columns which we are using in a matrix, using that we can define order. The next definition we are going to discuss, that is order of a matrix. Order of a matrix. This definition is completely based on the number of rows and number of columns which are present in a matrix. So the definition of order of a matrix: let a matrix contains m rows. Let us consider a matrix contains m rows and it contains n columns. So a matrix contains m rows and it contains n columns. then that matrix is of order. We can say that the matrix which contains m rows and n columns is said to be of order, is order of m. We write it as m by n. We write it as m into n, so that you have to don't read that one as m into n. So read as m by n. So that is the order of the matrix m by n. So if any matrix contains m rows, first point indicates about how many rows it contains, then how many columns it contains. If it contains m rows and it contains n columns, then that matrix is said to be of order m by n. Read it as m by n instead of m into n. Now we have already some examples on our screen. While using the definition of a matrix, we consider two examples here. So in this example, how many rows it contains? 2 rows. And how many columns it contains? 3 columns. So this matrix is said to be of order 2 into 3, 2 by 3. Read it as 2 by 3 instead of 2 into 3. So first you should indicate how many rows. The first one we are indicating, that is the number of rows, and the second one we are indicating, that is the number of columns. Here in this example, it contains 3 rows and as well as it contains 3 columns. So this is said to be of order 3 into 3, 3 by 3, 3 by 3 matrix. Generally, we write the order of the matrix at the right side corner here. For the matrix here, right side bottom, you can mention its order. This also. So this is not a matrix, so it cannot be considered as a matrix, so it cannot have any order. Now let me write one more example. What is the order of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you consider, this is another example. This is the third example. So here I consider only one row. It contains 5 elements. So it contains only one row. So 1. And if you consider them in column wise, you have 5 columns. So this is said to be a matrix of order 1 by 5. It contains only one row, whereas it contains 5 columns. If you observe them in column wise vertical manner, so those are treated as, those are constitute 2 columns, so that it contains 1 into 5 matrix. So this is the concept of introduction of the matrix, definition of matrix, how matrix are denoted, what are the elements we can use for the arrangement of matrix, how we indicate them, either in closed brackets or open brackets. You can arrange the rows and columns in these brackets, so you will construct a matrix. And the way you arrange the elements in horizontal manner are called as rows, and the elements which are arranged in vertical manner, they are constituted to be said to be columns. They are called as columns. So that how many rows it has and how many columns it has, a number indicates which is said to be order of the matrix. M rows and columns, it is of order m by n. So it is written as m into n, and we have some different examples to define the order of a matrix. After knowing the order of a matrix, now let us construct a matrix of order m by n. So now we are going to construct a matrix having m rows and n columns. Let me write that one. Generally, we are considering to denote the matrix, we are using capital letters. So remember one point. We are using either square brackets or open brackets to arrangement of rows and columns. Let me consider one point here. I am taking the element as A. For the difference of mentioning in rows and columns, I am taking the suffix as ij. So here the element is aij. Its order is m into n, m by n. So now whatever may be the matrix you are going to construct with element by assuming ourselves. So element is your choice. So if they ask to construct any matrix with different orders, we can able to construct by using this format. So here we are going to construct a matrix A with m rows and n columns. So indicating the elements in the form Aij. Aij. Now observe this one. So expand in large manner. What is this one? If I start to arrange the elements here in this way, which indicates my pen, horizontal way, first horizontal way, which is R1. So I am starting the first row arrangement. So the first element will be A11. Why? Because this element exists in the first row and as well as the first column. That's why here you observe one point. The suffix is indicated here ij. I indicates the position of the element of its row number and j indicates the position of the number of its column number. So A11, that means this is, we are not specifying what is the element. We are indicating only the position. This is the position of the element of the first row element and the first column element. If you move here, you are staying in the first row, moving to the next position, that means you come to the second column. This is the first column, this is the second column, so that you change it to this position. That means row number remains same throughout this horizontal manner. Row number remains same. So you have to change only the column number. That means here the element is A12. That means first row, second column element. Again, first row, third column element. So in the same manner, so on, go like this. You come to a number A1J. Here you are using J for the variation of column. In our considered matrix, here J indicates the variation of column. That's why this is first row and jth column. In the same manner, so last we obtained A1n. So let me close the matrix. So just I completed the first row only. So mentioning this concept is only whenever we are going to indicate and arranging matrix, the position of the element is very important. So mentioning and specifying the position of an element means in which row it exists and in which column it exists. So that is the concept here we are going to discuss. Now if you start the arrangement from here, that means in this way you are constructing the second row. So that's why the elements are like this, A21. That means second row, first column elements. It remains in the first column. So R1 move to the R2 here. So this is second row, second column. Second row, third column. This is second row, jth column. And the last one is second row, nth column. Why? Because maximum number of columns you have to be n. You have to consider as n. In the same way, if you move to this position, third row, first column, third row, second column, this is the position of third row, third column, third row, jth column, third row, nth column. So in this manner, we will go through a number. Here already we use I. I is the variation of a row here. So you come to ith row. Ith row, first column. Ith row, second column. Ith row, third column. Ith row, jth column. And last one is ith row, nth column. So in this way, the maximum number of row which we reached is m. So that the last row will be mth row. Mth row, first column. Mth row, second column. Mth row, third column. So on, this is mth row, jth column. And last one is mth row, nth column. So the point we are discussing here is in constructing a matrix, the position of the element is very important. So to indicate what is the element in third row and fourth column. So in this arrangement, to mention, to specify a particular element in this arrangement, so you have to mention where is it, where is the element, where is that one. Otherwise, where is the element here? If you arrange an element here, what is the element, where is that element? Where is that element means in which row and which column it exists. First you have to mention in which row it exists, later in which column it exists. So out of the all elements you observed on this example, the first one, the first suffix indicates the row, its rowth position, and the second suffix indicates its column's position. So that is the main important one. So by taking one example which having m rows and n columns, you can able to construct this one. Now let us do one example. I am asking to construct a 3 by 2 matrix. In the same manner, this is example 1 in this concept. So constructing m rows and n columns is a difficult task. Why? Because you have to know better idea, which is the first row, second row, third row, ith row and mth row. So constructing a 3 by 2 matrix is much easier compared to construction of m by n matrix. Now 3 by 2 matrix, what is a 3 by 2 matrix? It contains 3 rows and 3 columns. So take 3 rows and 2 columns matrix. It is enough, I think. 3 rows. What is this one? What is this place of this element here? First row, first column, so that it is A11. What is this position? First row, second column, so that it is A12. So this is first row, first column. This is the first row, second column. So we have only 2 columns. So you reach maximum columns, so that you can close the arrangement there. So then move to here. This is second row, first column. So this position is A21. So this is second row, second column. Its position is 22. This is third row, first column, third row, second column. So that is the arrangement of having 3 rows and 2 columns. So that means you must have an idea of the elements position having 3 rows and 2 columns and mentioning the element of each element with its position by suffix indication. First suffix is its row number, second suffix is its column number. Now try another example. Example 2. Construct a 2 by 3 matrix. Construct a 2 by 3 matrix. So 2 by 3 matrix consists 2 rows and 3 columns. So 2 rows and 3 columns you have to consider like that. So this is the first row, first element, first row, second element, first row, third element. So you have reached maximum column number 3. You have 2 rows, second row, first element, second row, second column element, second row, third column element, so that it is of order 2 by 3. So this is a matrix of order 3 by 2. So by giving some information about the element in that matrix, they will ask us to construct different orders matrices. So let me explain one example related to this one. So the example is construct a 2 by 2 matrix. Construct a 2 by 2 matrix such that, so they will give the information about the element. So you have to find the element by using the given condition in the problem, such that Aij is equal to I plus j. So the question is like that. The condition may be in different formats. Aij is equal to I plus j, or Aij is equal to I minus j, Aij is equal to I into j, Aij is equal to I divided by j, or whatever may be the condition. So they will give average I plus j by 2. That means the average of row number and column number. So whatever may be the condition, here the important point you have to observe, you are constructing a 2 by 2 matrix. So that means, what is the element of the format of a 2 by 2 matrix? That is like this: A11, A12, A21, A22. So this is the example for general matrix of a 2 by 2 order matrix. This is the general example. Now here you have the idea how you can find the elements. So what is A11? That is nothing but 1 plus 1. Here, using this formula, if Aij is equal to I plus j, then what is A11? That is nothing but 1 plus 1. This is 1 plus 2. This is 2 plus 1. This is 2 plus 2. So that you will construct a matrix 2, 3, 3, 4. So this is the required matrix. They are asking a 2 by 2 matrix. So with elements definition, Aij is equal to I plus j. So you have different problems. By using such type of conditions, they will give the condition and they will specify any order matrix, so that you have to construct that matrix by using the definition of the element. In that concept, let us do one more problem. So here observe the problem. So they are asking to construct a 3 by 2 order matrix. 3 by 2, 3 rows, 2 columns. And the elements are defined like this. Aij is equal to 1 by 2 mod I minus 3j. Now, observe the answer from here. A general 3 by 2 matrix. What is a general 3 by 2 matrix? It contains 3 rows and 2 columns, so that it is A11, A12, 2 rows, 3 rows and 2 columns. It contains A21, A22, A31, A32. So this is the general format of a 3 by 2 order matrix. Now using the definition, you are going to find the values of A11, A12, A21, A22, A31, A32, so that you can substitute in the format, you will get the answer. Now what is the definition of the elements given in the problem? That is 1 by 2 mod I minus 3j. So by using this one, you have to find what is A11, 1 by 2 mod 1 minus 3. 1 by 2 mod 1 minus 3 is minus 2, mod minus 2 is 2, so you will get 1. In the same manner, what is A12? A12, I1, 3 into 2 you will get 6, 1 minus 6 is minus 5, mod minus 5 is 5, so 1 by 2 into 5 you will get, that is 5 by 2. Then what is we required? A21, we required A21, 1 by 2, 2 minus 3 into 1. 1 by 2, 2 minus 3 is minus 1, mod minus 1 is 1, so that you will get 1 by 2 as the answer. So what is the second, another element we need? A22, 1 by 2 mod 2 into 2 minus 3 into 2, 1 by 2, 2 minus 6, that is minus 4, mod minus 4 is 4, so you will get 2. Now what is next element? A31, 1 by 2 mod 3 minus 3 into 1, 3 minus 3, 0, 0 into anything is 0. Last element we required A32, 1 by 2 mod 3 minus 3 into 2, 1 by 2, 3 minus 6 is minus 3, mod minus 3 is 3, so you will get 3 as the simplification of the bracket, so you will get 3 by 2 as the answer. So in first step, we observe what is a 3 by 2 order matrix. Later, by the given definition of the position of the element, Aij is equal to 1 by 2 I minus 3j, you have to find all required elements, A11, A12, A21, A22, A31, A32. Later you have to substitute. So required matrix is, the answer is this one, required matrix of a 3 by 2 order is, what is the final answer we need? What is A11? That is 1. A12 is a 5 by 2. A21 is 1 by 2, A22 is 2, A31 is 0, A32 is 3 by 2. So this is the answer we required for the given question. So based on this concept, so they will ask in different formats, whatever may be the definition of the element. This is important for finding the values of the matrix, but it is the first important point is you have to construct the required order matrix. What is the required matrix? 3 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 3. So first you have to construct like this. Later find the values by using the definition of the element. Later substituting, you will get the answer. Student, we are discussing the concept of matrices. Already we discussed the concept of definition of matrix, order of the matrix. So how we obtain the order of the matrix and how we define the element position by mentioning its row number and column number. Now we are going to define some definitions based on the order of the matrix. Basically we have two different matrices. One is rectangular matrix. One is rectangular matrix. And another one is square matrix. Second one is square matrix. These two are classified by the order of the matrix. Actually, we define every matrix contains some rows and columns. If the number of rows is different from the number of columns of a matrix, then that matrix is said to be a rectangular matrix. Let a matrix has m rows and n columns. Let a matrix has m rows and n columns. If m is different from n, that means number of rows is different from number of columns of the matrix, then that matrix is said to be rectangular matrix. Then the matrix is called rectangular matrix. Rectangular matrix. Generally, we see some orders of a rectangular matrix. So 2 by 3 matrix is the example for a rectangular matrix. 3 by 2 is another example. 2 by 4 and 2 by 5. These are the examples of a rectangular matrices. Different rows and different columns number having that matrix is said to be rectangular matrix. Let me write one example of a 2 by 3 matrix. This is the example: A, B, C, D, E, F. This is of order 2 by 3. It has 2 rows and 3 columns. So you can treat it as the rectangular matrix. Let me write another example: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the order of the matrix 3 by 2. So these are the examples of a rectangular matrix. So classification of rectangular matrix and square matrix both depend upon the order of the matrix. What is the definition of a square matrix? Now we come to the definition of square matrix. Actually, already we consider M is the rows, M is rows and N is columns of a matrix. That means a matrix having m rows and n columns. If m is equal to n, that means number of rows of the matrix is equal to the number of columns of the matrix, then the matrix is said to be square matrix. And the matrix is said to be square matrix. So generally, what are the order of the square matrices? Generally, we can serve examples like this: 1 by 1, by taking only one element as a matrix, that is said to be a square matrix. and the matrix of order 2 by 2 having 2 rows and 2 columns, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, such ordered matrices we call them as square matrices. So let me write example of a 2 by 2 square matrix: 2 3 0 minus 3. This is the example of a 2 by 2 square matrix. Let me write another example of a 3 by 3 square matrix: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. You can observe it contains 3 rows and 3 columns. So this is also an example for a square matrix. So generally square matrix you can call the order as it is a square matrix. Instead of mentioning 2 by 2, you can say this is a square matrix of order 2. Square matrix of order 2 means the matrix is of order 2 by 2. So this is the example for a square matrix of order 3 by 3. So simply you can say like this: this is a square matrix of order 3. So square matrix of order 3 means it is the matrix of order 3 by 3. So square matrix indicates it should have same columns and rows number equal to the columns number. So classification of rectangular matrix and square matrix both are depend upon the order of the matrix. We already observe some definition, some examples we observe here. So you can indicate square matrix like this: A is equal to Aij n by n. So is a square matrix of order n. Square matrix of order n. Square matrix of order n. So in observing the elements of the square matrix, we have two classification of the elements of a square matrix. Let me write one example. We need to discuss some point for the later discussion. Observe this example. Let me consider one example of a square matrix: A B C D E F G H I. This is of order 3 by 3. Here, what is the position of A? A1 1. Position of E is 2 2. Second row, second column. Position of I is 3 3. Third row, third column. So in a square matrix, we have some elements in the matrix which having same number of row and same number of columns like this. So the elements in 1 1 position, 2 2 position, 3 3 position, so on. So the elements having the position like this, we call them as principal diagonal elements. So the elements, let me write in general: A11, A22, A33, so on, ANN. The elements which having same number of row and same number of column, row number, column number, both are equal for that element. Those elements are said to be principal diagonal elements. Principal diagonal elements. So here you must have an idea. This is possible only for a square matrix. In a square matrix, the elements having A11, A22, A33, so on, ANN are called principal diagonal elements, and another elements are called non-principal diagonal elements. So why we are called them as diagonal elements? So you can take that one as the one of the diagonal of the square. Observe here: A is in 1 1 position, E is in 2 2 position, and I is in 3 3 position. So these elements are referred to be constitute the principal diagonal elements, whereas the another elements, just let me check what are the positions of the another elements. Position of B is 1 2, first row, second column. Position of C is 1 3. Position of D is 2 1. F is 2 3. G is 3 1. H is 3 2. So you can observe the position of the remaining elements, their row number, column number, which are not equal. So you have to remember, in a square matrix, the elements having row number, column number both are equal are called principal diagonal elements, and the other elements, the remaining elements, we are having different row number and different column number are said to be non-diagonal elements, non-principal diagonal elements. Let me explain this one with a general phenomena. The elements Aij for I is equal to j. You can define principal diagonal elements in this manner also. The elements Aij for I is equal to j are called principal diagonal elements, whereas the elements Aij for I not equal to j. The elements Aij for I not equal to j, these elements are said to be non-diagonal elements, are called non-diagonal elements. So we observe the definition of square matrix, and we have some concept of the based on the row column number of the elements of the square matrix. Some are referred to be constitute the principal diagonal elements, and some are constitute the non-principal diagonal elements, which are based on the position of the element. So let me explain. What are principal diagonal elements? The elements Aij for I is equal to j, those are said to be constitute principal diagonal elements, and the elements for I not equal to j, those elements are said to be non-diagonal elements. Observe the example on your screen here. In this example A, these are principal diagonal elements. Why? Because their row column number are equal, and the remaining all B, C, D, F, G, H are referred to be non-principal diagonal elements. Now we have one definition related to the position of the elements. So the definition is a trace of a matrix. So this is one important definition related to the matrix topic. Generally, in examination point of view, we have so many definitions of different types of matrices. So students observe, it is very important to practice the definitions of the matrix, and you have to remember the concept related to the elements and order of the matrices. Now let me explain trace of a matrix. What is the trace of a matrix? So already we consider a square matrix. In a square matrix, already we discussed about principal diagonal elements and non-principal diagonal elements. In a square matrix, the sum of the principal diagonal elements. In a square matrix, the sum of the principal diagonal elements is called trace of the matrix. So this is the definition of trace. So if you want to remember the definition of trace, you have to observe what are the principal diagonal elements. So the main concept of the definition of trace is sum of some values, whose values sum is called trace, principal diagonal elements, and you have to remember principal diagonal elements are possible in a square matrix only. So the elements having same row number and same column number, those elements are said to be principal diagonal elements. Let me explain with one example. Later we will discuss it later. Observe this example. 1, 2, 5, minus 3, 6, 0, 7, 3, minus 2. So this is clearly a square matrix because its order is 3 by 3. So what is its trace? If you consider its name as A, then what is the trace of A? Trace of A. What are the principal diagonals here? So these are the principal diagonal elements. So 1 plus 6 plus minus 2. So in the example we observed principal diagonal elements, one position is 1 1, it is 1 1 position, it is 2 2 position, and this is 3 3 position. So sum of the principal diagonal elements is said to be the trace. So what is its value? 7 minus 2, that is 5. So the trace of the matrix, we consider the example which is 5. So in notation point of view, you can express the definition like this. If you consider A like this, any matrix Aij, you can give the definition in this manner also. So generally elements are denoting with Aij notation. It is a square matrix, so that it is of order n by n. Now what is trace? Trace of A. What is trace of A? So trace of A will be A11 plus A22 plus A33 plus so on, plus last element is ANN. So row number, column number, both are equal. You have to add all those elements and their sum is said to be the trace of the matrix. So you can indicate it with the sigma notation, summation AII. I is equal to 1 to n. So you can simply denote the trace with like summation notation also. Summation I is equal to 1 to n AII. So we observe the definition of a square matrix, and based on the concept of different elements with their position, we come to principal diagonal elements and non-principal diagonal elements. Later, sum of the principal diagonal elements of the square matrix is said to be another definition, that is a trace. And we have one example how we can find the trace of a given matrix. Simply, you have to observe what are the principal diagonal elements in the given matrix. So you can able to find its trace. Trace is nothing but sum of the principal diagonal elements. If you can able to find those principal diagonal elements, so you can add those values, so that you will get the trace of the matrix. Later we have another different examples for square matrix. Let me write another example. That one is a diagonal matrix. We have some definitions. Let me explain what is a diagonal matrix. Diagonal matrix. So we are practicing to denote a matrix with the Aij notation. Let us consider a square matrix Aij n by n. This is a square matrix. Now we have different examples, different elements, position, diagonal elements and non-diagonal elements. So the definition of a diagonal matrix is Aij is equal to 0 for I not equal to j. Aij means treat this one as element. Element is 0 when I not equal to j. That means row number, column number both are different. What are those elements? We call them as non-diagonal elements. In a square matrix, you have to remember the definition like this also. In a square matrix, if all the, what are these elements? Non-diagonal elements. Non-diagonal elements. If all the non-diagonal elements are all 0, you can give the definition in short notation form like this, or also with words like that. In a square matrix, if all the non-diagonal elements are all zeros, then the matrix is called square. Then the square matrix is called diagonal matrix. That is said to be diagonal matrix. So that is the concept. You can explain the definition with the Aij notation. You have to remember like this. Aij for I not equal to j, Aij for I is equal to j. For I is equal to j, simply they are diagonal elements. For I not equal to j, they are non-diagonal elements. So let me write one example. A 0 0 0 B 0 0 0 C. So is it okay, this example? Is it according to the definition of the diagonal matrix? Now here these are diagonal elements. Clearly these are diagonal elements. So this is non-diagonal elements. Its position is 1 2 1 3 2 1 2 3 3 1 3 2. So you have to consider 0 whose row number, column number are different. That is the definition. For I not equal to j, you have to put the element as 0. So then that matrix is said to be diagonal matrix. All non-diagonal elements are 0. That matrix is said to be diagonal matrix. You can write this one in short notation, indicating only diagonal. You can write that one. Diagonal ABC. So you are mentioning only diagonal elements. What about if you write diagonal ABC? This indicates diagonal elements are only ABC, principal diagonal elements are only ABC, and remaining all those elements are 0. So you can denote diagonal elements like that also. Diagonal ABC means A0 0 0 B0 0 0 C. So this is the definition of a diagonal matrix. Now let us discuss one more example, that is scalar matrix. What is a scalar matrix? Already we have discussed about trace and diagonal matrix. What are diagonal matrix? Now let us come to know what is a scalar matrix. So actually with short notation, a scalar matrix, let us consider a matrix is like this, Aij n by n. This is a square matrix of order n. So here we have two classifications of elements of a square matrix. So the elements Aij is equal to 0 for I not equal to j. I not equal to j means those elements are referred to be non-principal diagonal elements, and the non-principal diagonal elements has to be 0, and Aij is equal to some scalar k. Here the value k is a scalar for I is equal to j. I is equal to j means those elements are referred to be principal diagonal elements. That means all the principal diagonal elements are equal to a scalar k, and other non-principal diagonal elements are equal to 0. Such type of matrix is said to be scalar matrix. So this is the definition of a scalar matrix. So simply you can say like this: scalar matrix is one of the diagonal elements whose principal diagonal elements are all equal to a scalar. So this is one of the concept of a diagonal matrix. So this is nothing but a diagonal matrix. So with a small variation in diagonal matrix, there is no necessary so that all principal diagonal elements are equal. Here in a scalar matrix, all the principal diagonal elements has to be equal to a scalar, whatever may be that number, it may be 1, 2, 3, minus 1, 0, whatever may be it has to be, all principal diagonal elements has to be equal to a scalar number k. So if you go through in such matrix is called scalar matrix. Such matrix is called scalar matrix. So like this, if you want to discuss the definition with words, all principal diagonal elements equal to k, and non-principal diagonal elements all are equal to 0. Such type of a square matrix we call them as scalar matrix. Let me write some examples. This is the example of a 2 by 2 scalar matrix. Let me write one more. So this is the example of a 3 by 3 scalar matrix. Here you can observe diagonal elements are 2, 2 in this matrix, whereas in this example 3 by 3 matrix considered all the elements are equal to 5. So this is the definition of a scalar matrix. Now let us come to the definition of what is a unit matrix. Unit, or you can call it as identity. Identity matrix. Now we will discuss the definition of a unit matrix, or you can also call it as a identity matrix, which is denoted by I. Unit matrix is denoted by I. This is also one diagonal elements, diagonal matrix. So let us consider a matrix like this with the short notation Aij n by n. Definitely it should be a square matrix, and Aij is equal to 0 for I not equal to j. That means non-diagonal elements all has to be 0, and Aij is equal to 1 for I is equal to j. That means all the principal diagonal elements which has to be equal to 1. Such type of matrix is said to be unit matrix. So here let me write this concept in words. All principal diagonal elements, all principal diagonal elements equal to 0, non-principal diagonal elements, all principal diagonal elements equal to 1, non-principal diagonal elements equal to 0. That is the concept we discussed here. I not equal to j means non-diagonal elements. I is equal to j means row number, column number equal means those are referred to be principal diagonal elements. All principal diagonal elements are equal to 1 and non-principal diagonal elements are equal to 0. Such type of square matrix we called it as unit or identity matrix. So we have I2 example. Let me write some examples. I2 means it is a 2 by 2 square matrix. So that is 1 0 0 1. So generally we use to denote unit matrix, we use the letter I. I means identity matrix. 2 by 2. I2 means generally it is a square matrix. So second order unit matrix or identity matrix. So 2 by 2 unit matrix is like that. Now let me give I3. What is I3? What is I3? A 3 by 3 identity matrix. 3 by 3 order identity matrix, that is like this. 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. So this is the unit matrix of order 3. So you can write any number of order. I4. What is I4? 4 by 4 unit matrix. That is like this. 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1. So by observing these examples, you must have an idea. All principal diagonal elements are equal to 1 and the other non-principal diagonal elements are equal to 0. So these are the definitions of trace, diagonal matrix and scalar matrix and unit matrix. Now let me explain what is a null matrix. Let me explain that definition. Null matrix. So null matrix, we denote this null matrix with 0. Null matrix, we denote that one with 0. A matrix, any matrix, here no need of square matrix here to define null matrix. The definitions for which we consider for diagonal matrix, square, scalar matrix and unit matrix, consider matrix must be a square matrix, whereas null matrix no need of considering a square matrix. So let me Aij m by n is any order matrix if Aij is equal to 0. If Aij is equal to 0, whatever may be the element, every element has to be 0 that matrix is said to be null matrix. So null matrix has examples like this 0, 0, 0, 0. This is the example of a 2 by 2 null matrix. Or you can write like this 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, like that. It is the example of a null matrix of order 2 by 3. Null matrix means all the elements in those matrix are zeros, then that matrix is said to be null matrix, and we denote it with O, with the letter O. So we have I for identity matrix, we have O, that is for null matrix. Now let us discuss definitions of triangular matrices. What are triangular matrices? Triangular matrices. We have two triangular matrices. One is upper triangular matrix. One is upper triangular matrix. And second one is a lower triangular matrix. We have two triangular matrices. One is upper triangular and the second one is lower triangular matrix. So consider a square matrix. Let us consider A is equal to Aij, the general format of a matrix n by n. This is a square matrix of order n. Now, what is the definition of a upper triangular matrix? So here you observe one point. If generally we are using Aij notation for indication of the element. Aij is equal to 0 for I greater than j. So the definition of upper triangular matrix is the element is 0, those elements which having row number greater than column number. Generally we are indicating I for row indication and j for column indication. If the row number of the position of an element is greater than its column number, if those elements are 0, then such matrix obtained is said to be upper triangular matrix. Now let us consider one example. One example of a 3 by 3 upper triangular matrix. So generally a 3 by 3 matrix consists of 3 rows and 3 columns. So now out of these 9 elements, you have to identify those elements which are having row number is greater than column number. So this is 1 1 position, this is 1 2 position, this is 1 3 position, this is 2 1 position. So if you observe 2 1 position, 2 is greater than 1, so this has to be 0. This is 2 2 position, this is 2 3 position. Now observe this position 3 1, 3 is greater than 1, so this should be 0. This is 3 2 position, 3 is greater than 2, so that element has to be 0. So I am indicating the elements of a 3 by 3 matrix which are having row number greater than column number, and the remaining elements you can consider with our choice. Let me write 1 2 3, this has 4, this has 5 and this has 6. So by closing these zeros, and you can observe this is a triangle, and in this matrix by eliminating the 0 values you can obtain one triangle which is upper side of the matrix. That's why this is said to be an upper triangular matrix. So this is the example of a upper triangular matrix. So that you can similarly define what is a lower triangular matrix. Let us consider a general matrix Aij n by n, so that it is a square matrix. Here the element is 0. Remember one point, the element of the matrix is indicating with Aij notation, I for j and I for row and j for column. Aij is equal to 0, the element has to be 0 if its row number is less than column number. its row number is less than column number. I less than j. If I less than j, if the elements of the square matrix are all zeros, for those elements which are having I less than j, such matrix is called as a lower triangular matrix. Now consider one example. Let me write one example in the same format. Example of a 3 by 3 order lower triangular matrix. Now observe here, we are considering a 3 by 3 matrix. So you can observe, let me first explain the element position. This is 1 1, this is 1 2, 1 less than 2, so this has to be 0. Its position is 1 3, 1 is less than 3, so that it is 0. So this is 2 1, this is 2 2, this is 2 3, 2 less than 3, so that it is 0. So these are 3 1, 3 2, 3 3. So here we are consider the elements as 0 for the elements for I less than j and taking those elements as 0. And you can consider the remaining elements as our choice, 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the example of a 3 by 3 lower triangular matrix. If you close these 3 zeros, and you can observe the formation of the remaining matrix is a triangle like this manner. So that the triangle obtained at the lower part of the matrix, so that it is said to be the lower triangular matrix. So to remember the definitions, the elements has to be 0 for I greater than j. Such matrix is said to be upper triangular matrix. A is equal to 0 for I less than j. Here the classification is between I greater than j and I less than j. For I greater than j, if the elements are zeros, that is said to be upper triangular. For I less than j, if the elements are 0, so such matrix is called lower triangular matrix. So in an examination, so you may have a question like this: define upper triangular matrix and give one example. Define lower triangular matrix and give one example. So in matrix point of view, so definitions are also very important. So that student has to be learn the definition also by using the concept, and you are able to give an example for those definitions also. We are practicing so many definitions: order, matrix definition, order definition, square matrix. We have different square matrices: scalar matrix, identity matrix, diagonal matrix. So that you have to practice all those definitions, and you can able to give examples if they asked about one definition. Now let us discuss the concept addition of matrix. So the concept is addition of matrix. Addition of matrices. First we define what is a matrix and what are different types of matrices. Now we need to some algebraic relations about matrices, how their addition will be there, how their multiplication is there. So we need to do some algebraic operations among matrices, whether how we will obtain addition, multiplication. We have different properties related to matrices. First let me explain how we add two matrices, how we can able to add two matrices, what are the necessary conditions to add two matrices. So the concept is addition of matrices. For this, let us consider A, B are two matrices. A, B are two matrices. Addition of the matrices A, B, addition of the matrices A and B is denoted as A plus B. Addition of two matrices is denoted as A plus B. Now what are the conditions? Let me explain one by one. The first condition: to add two matrices, both matrices must be with the same order. You can add those matrices having only same order. So first point is A and B should have same order. So order of the two matrices should be same. Then only you can add two matrices. If A is a 2 by 3 matrix, B is also to be 2 by 3 order matrix, so that you can able to add A and B. So the first point is A and B should have same order. Second point is the obtained A plus B. Actually, addition of A plus B results A plus B. The obtained A plus B is also of the same order. That means if A is 2 by 3, B is 2 by 3, so that A plus B is again to that 2 by 3 order matrix. The obtained A plus B is also the same order. By how you can do the addition? By adding the corresponding elements. By adding the corresponding elements in A and B. So this is the concept how you can able to add two matrices. First one is A, second matrix is B. Both should have same order, then only you can add two matrices. That is the first major point. And remember the obtained matrix, whichever may be the matrix we obtained by addition, that is also with having same order. And we mentioned here how the addition is like that. Adding the corresponding elements. Now what are corresponding elements? Elements exist in the same position are said to be corresponding elements. That means one element in A and one element in B. One element in A and one element in B. Both are said to be corresponding elements. So you have to add the corresponding elements only, so that you will get the addition of the matrix AB. Now let us discuss with one example. Let me explain with one example. Let us consider A is equal to 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, 5. This is a 2 by 3 order. Now consider another matrix B, 5, 0, 3, 2, 1, 7. This is also a 2 by 3 order matrix. Now then discuss, is it possible for A plus B? Can you do A plus B? So answer is yes. Why? Because A is of order 2 by 3, so that B is of order 2 by 3. Both are having same order, so that you can add these two matrices. So by adding 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, 5 is A, 5, 0, 3, 2, 1, 7, that is B. Now already we discussed the obtained matrix is also with the same order. The matrix which we obtained is also with the same order, such as A is 2 by 3, B is 2 by 3, so that the order of A plus B is also 2 by 3. Now we mentioned about the concept of addition, how you have to add the matrices. So addition of matrices is nothing but addition of the corresponding elements of the matrices. Here this is 1 position element in A, this is the 5 which is 1 position in B, so that you have to add both 1 plus 5, which is the resultant of the A plus B in 1 position. Similarly, you have to add 2 plus 0, 2 is 1 position, 0 is 1 position. Next 4 plus 3, 4 is 1 position in A, 3 is 1 position in B. Similarly, adding second row, 3 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 5 plus 7. So doing simplification, you will get the result. 1 plus 5 is 6, 2 plus 0 is 2, 4 plus 3 is 7, 5, 7, 5 plus 7 is 12. So this is the resultant A plus B. So now we are discussing about the addition possibility of two matrices having same order obtaining matrix is also with the same order. So we are doing one example based on addition. If addition is possible, you can implement it with subtraction also. Minus also. In the same manner you can do minus. So for A minus B also the rules are same. Their orders will be same. The process will be same, so that you will get minus here. So for similar example, if you want to do A minus B, minus here, difference of the corresponding elements 1 minus 5, 2 minus 0, 4 minus 3, 3 minus 2, 6 minus 5, 5 minus 7. This is a very easy real number system. Matrix is formed with real numbers, so that what are the properties we do in real number system, they can be implemented for matrices also. So this is the process how we obtain the addition. Now we have some concept we have to discuss about addition. We have different properties. The first one is commutative law. Let me explain one by one. Commutative law. Commutative law. What is a commutative law? Commutative law means addition of the matrices with order change is also implemented. To find A plus B, even if you find B plus A, both will be same. So by changing the position of the matrices, you can get the same answer. So changing the position of the matrices, nothing but commutative property with respect to addition. We are discussing about addition, so that is said to be. So matrices addition follows commutative law. To find A plus B, if you find B plus A, no problem, both has to be equal. Why? Because addition follows commutative law with respect to addition in matrices. Now the second one is associative law. Associative law. Associative law. Associative law means change of brackets. Generally you can remember like that. When addition of three matrices is there, so first generally you can add B plus C first, later you can add the obtained to A. This will be equal to A plus B plus C. So while addition three or more matrices, so you can add whichever you are comfortable. First find B plus C, later add to A, or first find A plus B, later add the obtained matrix to C. No problem, you will get the same result. So in both ways you can do this, any problem, any example, you will get the same answer. So that is said to be the associative law. The third point is null matrix is said to be the additive identity with respect to addition. So that is additive identity. Third point, additive identity. Additive identity. So here null matrix is said to be the additive identity. Why? Because addition of any matrix A with 0, null matrix, or null matrix to A, which results the same matrix, no change of the matrix. So that's why the null matrix O is called the additive identity. So A plus O, which is equal to O plus A, which is equal to A. Actually we discussed about null matrix. Null matrix, all the elements are zeros. So by adding zeros to a number, no change of the value. So that A plus 0, 0 plus A, both results to A. Next, fourth point is additive inverse. Additive inverse. These are general properties of addition with respect to matrices addition. Whether they follow commutative law, associative law, what is the additive identity with respect to addition for the matrices, and what is the additive inverse of the matrices. Now observe here, if A plus B is equal to B plus A is equal to 0, that means 0 means null matrix. So then we say that B is called the additive inverse of A. Additive inverse of A. And that B is denoted like that, minus A. So if A plus B is equal to B plus A is equal to 0, so that the matrix B is said to be the additive inverse of A, or you can say that A is the additive inverse of B in the reverse manner also. If sum of two matrices is 0, one is said to be the additive inverse of the another. So that is the concept. So here you have one concept. Additive inverse of a matrix will be minus A. Here observe one point. Additive inverse of A. Additive inverse of A is nothing but minus A. Multiplying the matrix with minus, you will get its additive inverse. So this is the concept how you can add two matrices, two or more matrices. You use the same concept so that you can able to do addition. What are the matrices addition? Follow different properties. We have discussed four properties there: additive identity, additive inverse, associative law, and about commutative law also. So let me explain one general concept also here with regarding to addition. Let us consider A is equal to Aij m by n. This is a matrix, and let us consider another matrix B, which denotes Bij with the same order. For addition, it is mandatory to consider both matrices of the same order. So now let us consider A plus B. What is the matrix A plus B? We are discussing about that one. So that is Aij m by n plus Bij m by n. Aij m by n plus Bij m by n. So already we discussed the resultant matrix also with the same order. So that A plus B is also with the same order m by n. Now how the elements occur here? By adding the corresponding elements, that is Aij plus Bij. That is Aij plus Bij. If you consider Aij plus Bij with another element, that is Cij m by n. So generally representing a matrix with element notation, A with Aij, B with Bij, so that A plus B with Cij. So you can observe here, what is Cij? Cij is obtained by adding Aij plus Bij. Like here, we did adding corresponding elements. So this is the notation format. Generally, this is the way with one explaining with one example. It is easy to understand by numbers. So this is a general manner. Whatever may be the elements, so it will be implemented in this manner. Now let us discuss the concept of multiplication of a matrix with a scalar. We already learned about how we can add two matrices. So here the concept is not, remember, this is not multiplication of matrices. Multiplication of a matrix with a number. Scalar is nothing but a real number. All real numbers are called as scalars. So how you can multiply a matrix with a number? What are the rules? What is the process to multiply a matrix with a scalar? That is the concept. Now observe here. Generally we are considering A is a matrix indicating elements Aij whose order is m by n. Let us consider K is a scalar. K is a scalar. K is a scalar. Now the concept is K into A. Here observe, K is a number, not a matrix. A is a matrix. So multiplying a matrix with a scalar. So that means K into Aij m by n. Replace m. So that means this matrix becomes like this: K into Aij m by n. So here you have to observe, when multiplying a matrix with a scalar, so you have to multiply that scalar with every element present in the matrix. You have to multiply every element with that scalar mentioned. So let me explain with one example. Let us consider A as 1, 2, 3, 4. A simple 2 by 2 matrix I considered here. A is a 2 by 2 matrix. Now what is F? What is the matrix of 5A? So they are asking to find 5A. So that is our question, 5A. So 5 into the matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is of order 2 by 2. 5 into 1, 2, 3, 4. So multiplying a scalar into a matrix, so you have to multiply that scalar with all the elements present in the matrix. So what is the total result? 5, 10, 15, 20. So this is the matrix 5A. So this is the process of multiplying a scalar into a matrix. So or you can observe here also, you have to remember another point also. Whenever you are separating a number from a matrix, that number must exist in the matrix. Now let me observe one example here. Let us, A is like this. So that is the matrix I considered. I can write this matrix as 2 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is equivalent to this one. So here you can separate, you can observe every element is a multiple of 2, so that it is all these are even numbers. So I can separate 2 from the all elements, so that you can write the matrix like that. If you are not having one element without having multiple of 2, you can't do that. So if it is 11, even though if you can separate 2 from first 5 elements, so you can't write that one. To separate a number from the matrix, the number must be a multiple of every element of the matrix. Then only it is possible you can write it as a multiple of the matrix. So you have to observe it. So 2 points. Multiplying a scalar into a matrix, you have to multiply the scalar with every element present in the matrix. In another version, separating a number, a scalar from a matrix, that scalar must exist as the multiple of every element of the matrix. So this is how we can multiply a matrix with a scalar. In further classes, we can able to learn multiplication of 2 matrices also. This is not multiplication of 2 matrices. This is multiplication of matrix with a number. This is the process we have to follow while multiplying any matrix with a number. Now let us discuss about equality of matrices. How you can equal 2 matrices? When you say that 2 matrices are said to be equal. Now let us consider A, B are 2 matrices. A and B are 2 matrices. When you will say both matrices are equal, A is equal to B, what are the conditions so that we can say A is equal to B? That means both matrices A and B are equivalent matrices. What are the conditions? So the first condition is A and B are of the same order. Both matrices should have same order, as we discussed. In addition also, both matrices should be of the same order. So it is possible to equate to 2 matrices if their order is same. It is possible, it is mandatory for equality of 2 matrices, both matrices should be of the same order. Now the second point is the corresponding elements in both matrices. The corresponding elements in both matrices are also equal. Then only you can say that both matrices are equal. Then only you can say that both matrices are equal. A is equal to B. You can say if these 2 conditions are implemented for the given matrices A, B. Let me explain one example. Here A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a matrix of order 2 by 3. Let us consider another matrix B, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. This is also a 2 by 3 matrix. So what happens? If A is equal to B, both has to be equal. We want to say both matrices are equal. That means, what are the elements of the matrix? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, equivalent to A, B, C, X, Y, Z. So this is one important point. While equating two matrices, both has to be same order. Here order is okay. Both are having 2 by 3 order. Then what is the second condition here? The corresponding elements of both matrices is also equal. Corresponding elements has to be equal. What is the meaning of corresponding elements? Elements having same position. Elements in the same position are said to be corresponding elements. So that you have to get 1 is equal to A. 1 position elements has to be equal. 1 2 positions, that means A value is 1. 2 is equal to B. 1 2 position elements, 1 and 2 and B, 1 2 position elements, both are equal. So that B value should be 2. 3 is equal to C. 1 3 position elements, so that C value is 3. Now, 4 value equal to X. 2 1 position elements. Later, 5 is equal to Y. So that Y value is 5. 2 elements. 6 is equal to Z. So that Z is equal to 6, which are in 2 3 position. So the concept is very easy. Whenever you are equaling two matrices, both should have same order, and you can equate corresponding elements in both matrices. If corresponding elements are equal, then only two matrices are called as equivalent matrices. If one element is different, then you can't say both matrices are equal. For a 3 by 3 matrix which is having 9 elements, in two matrices, if you consider, if 8 elements in both corresponding elements are equal, if one element is not equal, you can't say that both matrices are equal. So the 9th element should be also equal in both matrices. Then only you can say two matrices are equivalent matrices. So this is the introduction part of the matrices. So we discussed so far definition of matrix, order of a matrix, representation of matrix, and different definitions of matrices. Square matrix, we have so many square matrices: diagonal matrix, scalar matrix, and identity matrix, null matrix. And later we discussed about the addition concept of two matrices and the properties which follow matrices addition. We have discussed some properties, associative law, commutative law, like that. Later we discussed about how we can multiply a matrix with a scalar, with a number. And here the last concept, how you can equate two matrices. What are the conditions we require to equate two matrices? So this is the introduction part of the matrices. Using this concept, you can do some problems, very easy problems. So if you observe the concept, you can able to do problems, very easy problems we have in introduction part of the matrices. Later we have some more concept about multiplication of the matrices and different properties regarding to the matrices we will discuss later. After learning the concept of addition of matrices and equality of matrices, let us do one problem related to the concept. We have the problem here. A is given as the matrix 1 2 3 4. B is given as 3 8 7 2. And they give the condition 2x plus A is equal to B. Here X is another matrix. And they are asking to find what is the matrix of X which satisfies 2x plus A is equal to B. So let us start the answer. So given condition is 2x plus A is equal to B. This is the given condition. So we are going to find the value of x. So by general calculation, 2x will be b minus a. 2x will be b minus a. So you can substitute both given matrices B, which is 3, 8, 7, 2 of order 2 by 2 minus, and A matrix 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also of order 2 by 2. Now 2x is equal to, the obtained matrix is also of 2 by 2 order. 3 minus 1 corresponding elements, you have to subtract corresponding elements. 8 minus 2, 7 minus 3, 2 minus 4. So now 2x will be 2, 6, 8 minus 2 is 6, 7 minus 3 is 4, 2 minus 4 is minus 2, 2 by 2. So 2x is equal to, here you can observe every element is a multiple of 2. So you can separate 2 from the matrix. So you can write that one as 2 into 1, 3, 2 minus 1. So cancelling 2 on both sides. So you will get the final required matrix X, that is 1, 3, 2 minus 1. So that is also of the order 2 by 2. Here observe this point. So after subtracting b minus a, you get the matrix 2, 6, 4 minus 2. Here observe, every element is a multiple of 2, so that you can separate 2 from each element. So you can write like that one. Or you can check by multiplying every element here with 2. 2 into 1 is 2, 2 into 3 is 6, 2 into 2 is 4, 2 into minus 1 is minus 2. So cancellation of 2 on both sides, we get the required matrix X. Now observe one more problem. So the question is like that. Two matrices are given, both are equal, so that we have to find x, y, z and a. So by the concept of equality of matrices, so equality of matrices is possible for same number of same order. So this is 3 by 3 order, this is 3 by 3 order. So both matrices can be equal, and you have to equate the corresponding elements of both matrices. So you have to equate corresponding elements, means x minus 1 has to be equal to 1 minus x. So that x plus x will be 1 plus 1, 2x is equal to 2, so that x will be 1. So by equating the position of 1, 1 position element in both matrices, you will get the value of x. Now, to obtain the value of y, so y values are present in 1, 3 position. So y minus 5 is equal to minus 5. So that y plus y becomes plus 5. 2y is equal to 5. So that y is 5 by 2. Now, to get z value, z is present in 2, 1 position. Here the element in 2, 1 position is 2. So that directly you get z is equal to 2. And later you are going to find the value of a present in 3, 3 position. So that 1 plus a is equal to 1. A is 1 minus 1, so that a value 0. So to get the values of x, y, z and a, so you have to observe where x present, in which position x present. So by comparing and equating the positions, you can able to get the values of x, y, z and a.